From the historic Rutherford County Courthouse in downtown Murfreesboro, next it's Murfreesboro Storytellers. Our special guests are the Honorable Ernest Burgess, Mayor of the County of Rutherford, and the Honorable Tommy Bragg, Mayor of the City of Murfreesboro. Stay tuned. Welcome to Murfreesboro Storytellers. Our guests this month are the Honorable Tommy Bragg, Mayor of the City of Murfreesboro, and the Honorable Ernest Burgess, Mayor of the County of Rutherford. Gentlemen, welcome to Murfreesboro Storytellers.
Thanks. Thank you. We're happy to be here with you, John.
What a wonderful community we have in which to live, to work, raise a family, and enjoy life. The City of Murfreesboro, the County of Rutherford, and it's been my experience that traditionally over the years, the two governments have been great partners together in making it an even better place to live.
Well, that's exactly correct. I mean, we have enjoyed a great relationship with all of our cities in the town of Smyrna in Rutherford County, and really and truly, I think that's one of the main things that's allowed us to really progress and go forward with all of our improvements, our developments, our economic growth. It's just been great because we all work together. We all have a common goal.
And why not?
All of our citizens have the best opportunities they can.
Mayor Bragg and Mayor Burgess too, with all the growth that we continue to have in Rutherford County totally and within our cities, I'm sure that places more and more demands upon government.
Well, it does in a lot of ways. We've asked for it as community leaders, as our business owners, our residents who have children that want jobs. I mean, we look back 30 years ago when Nissan announced that they were coming to Rutherford County. It made a huge difference. Obviously, since 1990, I think the population of the county was 111,000. Today it's 275,000. But we've been able to build schools. We've been able to offer public safety, public health, a lot of services that people like, relatively low tax rates, which has been very attractive. You kind of see people who move here because they like things, and they're the same things we like. And so that kind of builds on itself, if you will. If we like it, then other people will like it. They're going to find a way to move here and come and enjoy the community just the same way we do.
I failed to mention that we're doing this program on the grounds of the historic Rutherford County Courthouse. Right here is where many ministers would deliver their sermons on Saturday mornings. We have now the Main Street having their Saturday market. All types of events have happened right here at this historic place.
Yep, Jazz Fest, the Friday night on the square. I mean, all kinds of community events are happening here, and it really just brings people together, allows them to come and visit. I think this farmers market on Saturday, people come up here, I think, maybe just for the social activity and interaction, maybe as much as buying vegetables and fruits and other things, but it's really an asset. It binds our community together continuously.
We didn't even mention the human fly, I believe, who ascended from the courthouse many years ago, but didn't he have a fateful descent?
He did. That's the story. We'll have to get Greg Tucker to actually give us the real story on that, but we've heard that.
Well, you know, everything's been automated now, John, so we've got to take opportunities that we have to get together anymore. If
Absolutely.
You think about the internet and tellers and drive-up windows, and everybody walking around with a cell phone, everybody takes these opportunities. International Folk Fest, the Saturday market, it really gives everybody an opportunity to get together.
And we didn't even mention the Google. We can just ask what the historical facts are.
Right.
How about the well, Mayor, over here on the Court Square?
I think that Greg wrote about that just a little bit ago. That well, I don't think it's active anymore, but at one point there was a well. But I think it was for the purposes of maybe having access to water for fire protection or something. I think that was the primary purpose.
I think it was uncovered back when we did the Main Street program 27, 28 years ago, and fortunately they retained it. Let's say that, didn't just cover it up and leave it.
And Main Street's been a great boost to the downtown area, hasn't it? Made
Absolutely.
it a lot more viable part of our community.
Really, we've got a great community here around the square here downtown. I mean, the ability to renovate these buildings and make them really look good really adds to the whole ambience, you might say, of what's happening in Murfreesboro, downtown Murfreesboro, Rutherford County here. And it just makes it more appealing to the people that come to visit here. So it continues to help our economic development around here. So we're just happy that Main Street, in cooperation with any number of businesses in the city of Murfreesboro, has made this happen.
Mayor Bragg, you mentioned recently about the need for a long-range land use plan for the city of Murfreesboro.
Right.
And I believe, Mayor Burgess, you've had one for the county done, isn't that correct?
Yes, we just finished ours up. We're still working on a piece of it, the subdivision regulations, but we finished the land use plan, and then we have written a whole new zoning resolution that addresses how we use the land and how it specifically has to meet certain requirements, et cetera. So that's a difficult assignment. It took us, I hope it doesn't take the city quite as long as it does. It took us almost 3 years now to navigate this, but ours hadn't been done since 1984. So we were overdue by many, many years, but we're happy, we're proud that we're able to do that.
Well, we've had so many new neighborhoods added to Murfreesboro and so many Rutherford County neighborhoods that the commercial and retail areas service all of those residential, whether they're city residential or rural residential. And I think it would be a good time to bring the community together by neighborhood, by property owner, by business owner, and let's give a lot of attention to where we want our community to go in the future. I know I always kind of say we don't make decisions for today, we make decisions for tomorrow. And that'd be a great opportunity for the whole community to come together and tell us what their vision is for the future and to try to help us think what our children want, maybe what our children's children want. So I think a comprehensive land use plan to bring water and sewer, to bring roads, to bring schools, to bring development in, to let people look and see where do we want to go when we go north, when we go northwest, we go south. How are we going to use the land and what's best and what do people foresee for the future and how do we go about providing that?
I think we just heard the historic courthouse clock strike, and our thanks to CB Arnett and some others in a few years gone by, they helped to restore that and make it an operational clock.
Well, they always said, you know, that the courthouse square clocks didn't move in the South because nobody in the South wanted anything to change. They wanted everything to stay just like it is. So if the clock didn't work, that was okay. So we've gone on beyond that, I believe.
Following up just a little bit on what he was saying about these land use plans and the, planning for the future. Right. It's not just about today. Now, some of us get so consumed with all of the daily things we're doing right now that we somehow are unable to really look into the future. But I just found out yesterday, if these predictions are correct, and I told Mayor Bragg about this today, we're already at 270 to 75,000 people. And it's projected that Rutherford County could be almost 600,000 by 2040. Now that sounds like a long time, 25 years. But this kind of planning and this kind of foresight and this kind of vision is going to be required to continue to make this community a vibrant, thriving community with all the proper services and all the quality of life is going to take a huge amount of effort on every single one of us in every part of this county.
With a projection like that, that demands that we do some planning, some long-range looking. Yes, absolutely.
Well, I saw a sign the other day, a billboard. We were in Chicago for a wedding. Said, someone today will live to be 150. Someone alive today will live to be 150. And we have to think about that. We have to think about how we want to live the early years, the middle years, the late years of our lives. It's interesting how the demographics will change. There are still plenty of rural area. 40% of our county is still in a rural planned area. Only 60% is in an urban growth boundary. And frankly, 75% of the land area of the county is not in a city. It's not in Smyrna, not in Laverne, Eagleville, Murfreesboro. It's a rural residential area. So fortunately, we have a large county. We're not used up, so to speak. There's plenty of housing options and alternatives. And I think that adds to the ambiance and adds to the diversity. But people want to live in different kinds of places. They don't want to all live in a cookie cutter house. They all don't want to live on 50 acres. They want a choice, and we have that.
We've got those options.
Yeah.
Mayor Burgess, you've recently added an office of deputy to the mayor for Rutherford County.
Yes, that is correct. We've given a lot of thought to all of this, and the mayor of Rutherford County is a full-time position, and as some of you well know, it is not unusual to be here 3 or 4 days from 7:30 to sometimes 8 or 9 o'clock or later. So it's a lot of stress on a lot of people, and there's a lot of need here to expand and to really have the opportunity, just as we were talking about planning for the future, to extend our ability to lead and direct and look into the future and have some vision and really work on some really serious, difficult problems that we have. It's important that we have enough people in the right place with enough experiences and life's experiences and abilities that will help guide us through this process. So it's just a process of putting people in the right place, and this person we put in this place here is going to add another dimension of experience, and he's already doing that. He's stretching my, after you've done everything yourself for so long, it's a little bit difficult sometimes to hand off to others and turn loose. But yes, it really is an opportunity, I think, to give this mayor and future mayors a lot of potential that they can use that will help guide and lead and help even all of our other departments that are not getting enough of my attention. We can focus on them and give them and help them grow and help those leaders mature in their positions.
And Mayor Bragg, of course, you have a city manager, an assistant city manager to perform those types of functions for the city.
We'll very soon have an assistant to the city manager. Okay. Because of social media, because of the digital age, because of wanting to communicate, our city government is really making an effort to reach out to all our residents that have internet support and to try to make sure that we can provide them the news they want about city government, about initiatives, and about any issue that they have. We've recently revised our city website, and if you have an issue, if it's roads in the northwest side of town, the southeast side of town, if you have something about signals, if you've got something about neighborhoods or whatever else, you'll be able to go to our website and put that in, and anytime we have anything that specifically relates to that issue, you'll be notified as to when there's a meeting or when there'll be some agenda item. And so we've added a position called Assistant to the City Manager. Now, interestingly, in the 11 years I've been mayor, the city of Murfreesboro has no more full-time employees than we did the day I was elected mayor.
That's an amazing.
And so in 11 years, in a budget that's gone from $67 million to $118 million for our next fiscal year, there are no new employees. There are different employees.
Sure.
There are obviously different job requirements, but no additional employees from 11 years ago.
And Mayor Burgess, what is the county budget approximately?
Well, $460 million is what we're projecting for this.
Now his includes schools. Mine doesn't include schools.
So 75% of that is schools.
It's education.
Is education.
And speaking of education, what about the demand for new schools as we continue to grow and have more and more families moving in?
We're just opening up a new high school this coming school year.
You're going to split the loyalties of Smyrna. I cannot
Smyrna,
believe
Laverne,
you're going to do that.
And even Blackman's, to some degree, there's going to be some movement from that school. So that's just part of the growing process.
And I remember when Riverdale and Oakland opened and did the same thing to Central
anymore. You had to divide the town.
But we will continue to, we've done a great job, our commission has and our taxpayers have, helping us keep up with this growth. And even though the percentage of growth has declined, we're down to 2.7%, I believe. That's still, on 40,000 students, that's still 1,000 students per year. That is one elementary or one middle school. Now the high schools are 2,000. So we're in better position than we have been, but we're going to continue to have to add seats. We're going to be adding seats at Blackman Middle School soon. That's in the development stages even right now.
As we continue to talk about growth, roads gets involved. I remember your father, Representative John Bragg, mentioned schools plus roads equals jobs.
That's exactly right. And people in Murfreesboro probably don't remember that when Oakland High School was built, the state built the Jarnett Lane out to get the high school there. And well, improved it to where it was a good-sized road. Well, since that time, of course, the city has improved it to a 5-lane road, and we've got several road projects. I cannot tell you, with the help of the federal government, the state government, and our county government working with us, I imagine in the last 25 years we've spent $250 million on road projects. And we've got 3 pretty good-sized road projects that'll be underway in the next year. I expect that the Bradeville Pike project will get started. We're very soon to announce finally the bridge over Broad Street, which will connect Old Fort and memorial and be elevated above grade, which should help Broad Street dramatically after about a 3-year construction period.
3 years, okay.
And then the area of Middle Tennessee Boulevard between Greenland Drive and Main Street, which has been on the radar for probably 10 years, but we finally got the design, got all the money together, and we'll probably let that by late fall, early this winter, to go ahead and get underway with getting that to be more of a campus area roadway. So you have queuing areas for so many of the students who live in the area, increase the safety, increase the size of the walking and the bike paths. So our students and the people that go to the university, even though we have an older population in a lot of ways, we'll still have a very nice area through the campus and adjoining the neighborhoods that are on both sides of the campus.
And this will be similar to what has already been done between Main and Mercury, I believe.
It will be similar, but again, instead of having just your regular smaller walkways, they'll have bigger queuing areas, bigger corners where the students will be able to line up and wait for the lights to change. And hopefully we'll cut down on that jaywalking and the kind of things that makes it a little less safe in some ways.
A lot of people have asked about the land. As I understand it, the additional land will come off the university property.
Well, most of it will, but obviously you have to take into consideration some historic sidewalks over on the western side there. So there's a lot that's gone on there. Interestingly, the university's acquired many properties along that way. So that has helped us a little bit in putting that project together.
Mayor Burgess, what's on the county plan as far as roads in the future, in near future?
The one thing that's on the plan right now is a partnership again with the city of Murfreesboro in the extension of the Joe B. Jackson Parkway from I-24 all the way back around to US Highway 231. So that's the biggest thing we've got going right now.
It's underway now.
It's underway. Yes, the actual construction, they've already let the bid. The city of Murfreesboro is taking the leadership on the oversight of that, even though we're partnering with them on a 50-50 basis with the actual cost of it. So that's really going to open up that quadrant over there and make that a lot more accessible for those people that need to. There's a huge need on 231 for the people coming back into Murfreesboro in the mornings. I know it's really, really difficult.
And we're going to let the other side of that, which we call Veterans Parkway, and we've got one leg left, a section there between Barfield Crescent Park and then on around to Moreland Lane that we need to get finished up, and that'll finish Veterans Parkway, which will help us get over to 840 and then on over to Highway 96 and I-24.
Yeah, this will eventually come all the way around to what's now the Woodbury Road.
It'll be a kind of a loop around the south side.
Around the south side, which is...
Right, because now, as you know, you've got to get into town to get out of town. And when you want to get through town, you still got to come to town. So it's pretty interesting.
What other issues are facing you in county government, city government that have been...
Well, there's a current discussion going. This reasserts itself every few years about the availability of parking on this square here. And that little discussion is taking place. But here, coupled with that, and one of the main reasons we have this difficulty is if you look right across the street here, we have our judicial building that we use with great frequency, and that creates a lot of pressure on the fact that we have not enough parking spaces here. But as we look forward into the future and look at the need that we're going to have and the growth that's going to occur, we're going to have to do something about this judicial building, I believe, in my view. And if and when we get all that done, hopefully we might have an opportunity to get that done in the next few years. That would alleviate some of our parking problems, and that would give our businesses more opportunities, and would it make the whole process more secure and more safe for each of our people that are using these facilities.
And I remember there was a plan a few years ago to take the judicial building off the square, but that didn't take place.
That plan is still there. It's just been laying dormant because we've had to build school after school after school. But maybe there's an opportunity here for a brief time for us to reconsider that.
And of course, we do have the city parking garage along with the city hall and the Landboyle Library complex.
There's actually 280, I think, 1 hour and 2 hour spots around the square. The city has 160 some spots in 2 surface lots plus 800 spots under the city hall. So at some point, I think the county, possibly working with the city, will try to figure out how to provide some additional parking, especially if we look at this newer judicial building.
There will be an associated parking garage with that if that project is able to go forward.
On the north side.
On the north side.
All right.
That would take care of and accommodate the needs and the people using that particular building.
But we're going to preserve our historic downtown square. We love it. It's a traditional downtown area that people come from everywhere to see, just to enjoy it, walk it, and that makes a very nice transition, I think, to our traditional old neighborhoods and then to our newer neighborhoods.
What about housing with the growth of our communities? I realize that's not your responsibility to provide, but on the other hand, are folks moving in, are they able to find housing that's to accommodate them?
I think it's tightened up a little bit. One of the things that's probably alert to our residents is actually the proliferation of multifamily housing.
Yes.
That's something that our community has really never gotten real accustomed to. But demographically, planners and people who look to the future say there are a lot of people who, because of jobs and wanting to move quickly and get their family to where the jobs are, that there's going to be a greater growth in the multifamily type housing. People will rent. Interestingly, the governments receive more money per family out of a multifamily house because they're assessed at a higher value for taxation purposes. But a lot of people in some ways are a little bit alarmed when they see a lot of multifamily. But that appears to be the trend. The younger families, younger persons moving for work, they don't want to be tied down to a permanent ownership of a property. They want to take a rental property, see if they like the neighborhood, see if their family adapts to the schools and where they are. And then if they do, then maybe they'll go and buy a home in that area. So a little bit more of a transition from moving here to a multifamily and then on to a single family residence is something that's different, I think, for the future.
And in addition to that, many apartment complexes have been built to accommodate MTSU students as opposed to having on-campus housing.
And the amenities in our apartments, they're not just a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom. They've got a garage, they've got a pool, they've got a workout room, they've got a business center, internet, meeting areas, tennis courts, all of those things that people look to Parks and Rec to provide, but they have it right there on their property and they don't have to take care of them. And so that's, I think, part of what makes them attractive.
Recreational activities you bring up, the county and the city have always very much involved in providing that.
Well, the city has done a much better job than we have in the county. It's no question. All of our
the county is a park.
The county is a park. So we're just happy that Smyrna and Laverne and Murfreesboro have done a wonderful job with their recreation and their park programs.
And Eagleville has too. They've got some walking paths. And
so we're just happy to get to share those things with them.
Yes.
More city oriented than county oriented. Right. Yeah, right.
Well, our Main Street area is like a park.
It is.
We have a linear park known as the Greenway. We have, I think there's 1,100 acres inside the city limits that are dedicated to park areas. Wonderful. And we're very proud of that.
And we're fortunate to have an excellent healthcare community within Murfreesboro, Rutherford County.
And an emphasis on wellness.
Yes.
Our city employees, all of our bigger employees understand that wellness and healthcare are things that are going to make improve the quality of life of the families that work with them and their neighbors, and we concentrate on wellness.
We have to concentrate on wellness. I mean, healthcare costs continue to escalate in double-digit percentages each year, so we're going to have to focus more on that so that we can minimize that. The cost of healthcare is one of the major components of the cost of government, and we have to find ways to help our people be healthier and take better care of themselves and participate more in these programs.
Any other issues that are on the horizon? Do we have any prospects of any major employers coming in? We're always looking for corporate headquarters to come here, I know. And that may be more of a question for the Chamber of Commerce.
That'd be more of a question for the Chamber, but I'm told by Paul at the Chamber that they're working on several interesting projects that may come to fruition, and they have a good number of those in the pipeline.
And the other thing is we want to make sure that this stays a community where our existing industry wants to be. One of the things that when people come here and look at us, check us out, is they go around to those folks that are already here and say what kind of an atmosphere is created, how helpful, how cooperative. And so we are really proud of the business that we have. We want to make sure that they prosper and grow, and that we can also attract new business to come here.
Yeah, that's as important as any conversation a prospect has, I think, to hear from existing industry. That's always been an emphasis of the Chamber, to keep existing industry happy, and let's keep what we have for sure.
That's exactly right, because we know the business cycle is going to go up and down, but you know, I always think about this when you move into a neighborhood. You don't just buy the house and move in. You look around and ask the neighbors, what's going on? How's it been? How have you enjoyed it? So we want to make sure that the folks that are already here and who've favored us with their business make themselves successful and continue that way.
When folks have a problem or a concern, if you will, about any issue, what's the best way to get in touch with your offices? How should they communicate with you?
They can call my office at 898-7745. If I'm in that office and not in a meeting or on the phone, they can talk to me.
Very good.
And our websites are there, but we love phone calls. We catch us on the street, make an appointment, come see us. MurfreesboroTN.gov. You can get anybody and everybody, and if it's not something that we can solve, we hopefully will know how to get to that person and make things better for you.
You mentioned the social media earlier. Are you going to be on Twitter?
I have not yet.
Not yet.
I've got a Twitter site located, but I have not taken advantage of it. I want to see how that works out. It's funny you mentioned that. When my granddad moved down here, he got the 398th telephone because his number was 398. And he didn't get the first one, and he didn't get the first 200 or 300. He got one almost at 400. I'm sure he wanted to figure out how it was going to get used. So I think all of us look at social media as to how it's going to be used and how we can best serve our constituents. And right now the town is not so big that you can't just walk up and say hello, grab us, and talk to us.
Which is wonderful. Thank you for mentioning your grandfather, my dear friend, Mr. Minor Bragg.
Thank you.
What a great friend he was to me growing up and carrying the Rutherford Courier around the downtown area.
Ah, the good old days.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for sharing with us about Rutherford County, the Honorable Ernest Burgess, County Mayor, about the City of Murfreesboro, the Honorable Tommy Bragg, Mayor of the City of Murfreesboro. And certainly the City Council meets regularly on Thursday evenings, I believe.
7 o'clock.
Open to the public.
Correct.
And the County Commission's meeting schedule is?
Well, we meet on the second Thursday of the second full week of each month. So.
And we're on TV on Channel 3 when you're with Comcast, or on Channel 99 with AT&T. And
we're on Channel 19. All of our committee meetings and our commission meetings are on Channel 19.
So all this is public and available to the public to be able to be informed about what is going on.
Many of it's streaming, some of it, of course, on television. Comcast is actual. Right. And then you can go back to archive meetings and
see the previous meetings. So it's all there for anyone.
That's right.
Again, thank you very much. We're so fortunate to live in this wonderful community of the City of Murfreesboro, County of Rutherford. Honorable Ernest Burgess, Mayor of the County of Rutherford, and the Honorable Tommy Bragg, Mayor of the City of Murfreesboro.
Thank you very much.
This has been Murfreesboro Storytellers.